What's up, beautiful people? So as you can see today, I got a huge amount of food delivered to me. This is Pakistani food. I'm a huge fan of Pakistani food. Honestly, I miss it so much, and there's only like maybe a few rare places where you can get really good Pakistani food. So I'll tell you the name of the place. The name of the place is Vallys. They serve Pakistani food, a bit of fusion, Maiman food, but today the whole spread I got was Pakistani food. I have tried their Haleem before, so I wanted to know what other items they have, and they were willing to offer me a huge variety of different types of food from their menu, so I am excited. Before we get into this review, I want to take a few seconds to give a shout out to Zareefas Craft Corner. From Zareefas Craft Corner, you can see creative art and craft related content, DIY, recycled, upcycled art and craft work, especially tutorials from turning simple items into something creative and unique. So if you're into this type of creative content, do subscribe to her channel and click on the bell notification icon. Now back to the review. So in case you see me sweating, I turned off the fan because I need to get that proper audio quality, otherwise the fan sound will come, so excuse me for the sweating. Also, in case you notice, I'm wearing a black kurta. That's why I look a bit different. I try to match with today's theme. Since it's Pakistani food, I'm wearing, a type of Pakistani kurta, a black kurta. So anyways, let's just get started. Let me try one of these samosas. Let me take this one. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You heard that crunch? Background noise as usual at the perfect time. The chicken inside is super flavorful. It's light, nicely filled, a lot of chicken is there, perfectly fried. It needs to go with some chutney. So I'll just serve some chutney on the plate since I'm going to be sharing all of this later. With the mint chutney. Ooh, I miss this mint chutney, looks good. That is so good. It's really so good. Perfectly contrasts the samosa. It has a nice little bit of sourness. That yogurt goes well. I think there's mint. Perfectly cuts the carbs and the meat for the samosa. It's just, you all have tried samosas with chutney before. Mint chutney before. You all know it perfectly cuts, and this both perfectly goes well together. Now I have the shami kebab. This is the beef shami kebab. Look at that. I don't know what's the coating. I think the coating is egg whites maybe, or egg, like egg yolk. And inside there's beef. But yeah, let's just get into it. That is flavorful. That meat is gonna sound sus. That meat melts in your mouth. It's nicely packed with spices, and there's even a slight bit of sourness. Perfectly, like it's pureed, spiced meat, nicely fried. And wow, it has to go with the chutney, yo. How did they get the beef like that? Like it's so... Ooh, the heat. Yeah, the heat's also coming. It's nicely, there's a lot of spice. There's a slight bit of sourness, but it goes well with it to cut that richness. And I'm not talking from the mint chutney, from the beef patty itself. Now, let me try I think this was called the chicken changa. Look at that. Look at that. Took a nice piece. It's nicely spiced in a coating. This is my first time trying a chicken changa. I might have got the name wrong, but I'll put the right name in the video. Looks like a chicken tandoori, but spices are different. Bro, that marinade or sauce is crazy. It's crazy. Meat is just fall off the bone tender. I don't even want to dip it into chutney, but I will eventually because the spicy coating itself is so good already. I don't let any piece of the chicken bone go to waste. In terms of the appetizers, the samosa was perfectly fried on the outside. Nice, tasty chicken meat, spiced chicken meat on the inside, perfectly minced. Goes well with the mint chutney. The chicken changa, flavorful coated chicken. My God, it's so good. I don't know, to be honest, it's hard to describe that spice mix, but it is spiced nicely. And I think there's a hit maybe of sourness, maybe from yogurt. I'm not too sure. I had to research about this dish. And that shami kebab, that beef shami kebab, nicely melts in your mouth, tender, spiced with a bit of sourness. Oof, a really good appetizer. Now let us just try. You know what, I look at the amount of biryani they gave me, you know, it's so generous, you know. I'm just gonna try it. Like, look at that, it has a nice bay leaf on top. Oh my God, the coating. There's potato also in it. Dude, that's crazy. Take chicken leg. Let me get more of that rice. Let me go deep in and get more of that rice. Okay, there's a fly here, and because I can't on the fan, it might bother me a bit. I'm sorry if you guys see a fly. I had to turn off the fan, but again, it's not coming because of the food or if my place smells bad. In Sri Lanka, flies are common. Let me first have the rice on its own. Bismillah. I gotta eat with my hands. Oh my God, that is so good. Gotta have it with the potatoes also nicely melt. Amazing contrast with the raitha. Let me eat it first. I'm just genuinely enjoying it. I'm not even thinking about it if I'm doing a review. I'm just genuinely enjoying this. I'm going for seconds. I can't. I'm happy with just the rice, to be honest. I'm gonna get some of the mint chutney. Dude, just look at the chicken. It falls off the bone tender. If you think it's disgusting to see me eat with the hands, you guys don't know what you're missing out on. As an Asian, even an Arab or whoever, just enjoy eating with your hands. If you all don't like it, you know what? That's up to you. It's okay. You can't change everyone. I'm just gonna have it with the green chutney. My God, I think I'm gonna cry. Last bite and then I'm gonna get to the review, okay? That is a really good Pakistani biryani, okay? This is not like the regular biryanis you get in Sri Lanka, not at all. This is a Pakistani biryani, and I've been missing Pakistani biryani for a really long time. You guys have no idea. So I used to live in Dubai. So, you know, this is like probably the closest I can get to having a Pakistani biryani. It's spiced perfectly. The more deeper you get in the biryani, the more flavor. The tomatoes nicely melted in it. It's spiced properly. There's nice potato. The meat is fall off the bone tender. And oh my God, the basmati rice. It's insane. Now we were done with the biryani. The appetizers and the biryani were crazy. Like honestly, it was so good. Now I think I'm gonna get into some of the carbs like the Latcha paratha and some of the curries. So let me just break off a little bit of the Latcha paratha, not so much. I'm just gonna take a quarter now. So I'll tell you what initially made me like Vallys from before itself. So it's the Haleem. So let me tell you about Haleem before we get started. So Haleem is technically, I think, pulses, some wheat, not too sure, that part I'm not too sure, wheat, a lot of spices, and beef or chicken. It's cooked for hours and hours and hours, and then it's made into this thick consistency and paste. And you're supposed to have it with garnishes, you know. So yeah, I've tried their one. I wouldn't say it's exactly like the Haleem I've tried in Dubai. There's a bit of a Sri Lankan twist, I'm not too sure, but with the ingredients they sourced here, this is the best I think you can get in terms of a Haleem. Some onions, fried onions, ginger and chili to cut out. Squeeze some lemon. Squeeze some lemon. Sorry, squeeze some lime. Sorry if the plate looks like a mess, but you know, it is a food video after all. A little bit of coriander. I don't think you usually put coriander, but and voila, you take a bite. Bro, that is amazing. It's craving Pakistani food, and you know what? I'm so happy right now. Let me just finish it and then look at the pasty consistency. It is not as thick as the Pakistani ones I tried in Dubai, but it's almost there and it still tastes pretty good. Bro, this dish is crazy, okay? Now, you might be intimidated by the oil. I'm not. I've tried this dish before, and that is rich Pakistani cuisine. It has to have a lot of oil. So this is PAYA. These are trotters. It's technically trotters. It's not as big as the ones I've seen in the past, but my God, if you look at that thickness of the gravy or the sauce, not the sauce, the gravy. I'm just gonna have a bit so I don't get myself full, because this is really rich. Like you can look at that oil and tell, yo, what is this? You know, but it's pretty good, trust me. I didn't try the one from Vallys before. I'm putting a bit of lime and I'll have it with some chapati. I'm just having a bit because, like I said, I just have a few more dishes to try. Oof. The gelatinous texture. That melts in your mouth. That stew is rich from all the fat. Nicely, nicely the tendon melts in the gravy and the spices. I think it's cooked for hours. And this chapati is nicely And this chapati is nicely soaking in all the gravy. Sorry if I'm talking with my mouth full. Look at that. Even the curries have a, like, you know, like they are heavy and they're flavorful. Now it's time for some Karahi gosht. I'll have it with the remaining chapati. So Karahi gosht, I think it's technically a lot of tomatoes, some tomatoes, some spices and meat. Karahi is technically, I think, the pot in which they cook in. I think that's called the Karahi. In Pakistan, that's the pot they cook in, and gosht, I think, is just meat. That's the meaning. So let me just try it. Whoa. That is slightly tart. A lot of spices. Packs a punch in terms of flavor. Like I said, tart, I think, from the tomatoes. Spicy with, of course, from the spices, and that meat, oof, tender. And the gravy itself. My God, that gravy. I'm almost done and I'm already full. Let's get to the butter chicken. Oof, it's been a long time. Just have a bit. So let me just have it with some. So okay, let me just have the butter chicken. Let me have the gravy on its own first. Slightly sweet. Just the gravy has to just be a bit more thicker. Otherwise, butter chicken is pretty good. Tender chicken. Now I'm going to get into the desserts. So this is my first time trying GAJAR ka halwa. It's technically carrot halwa. Carrot, like, I think, cooked with milk, condensed milk, sugar, all that. So it's a dessert. Bismillah. Wow. I did not expect that. You know, to be honest, I wasn't expecting to like this, but I really like the taste. Like, genuinely. Like, I know carrot is sweet and all, but I wasn't like, I didn't think like, oh, it might work with milk and all. It does. Like, genuinely. Bro, that is so good. Definitely going for seconds. To be honest, I've been eagerly waiting to try the Ras Malai. Ras Malai is technically, I think, made from cottage cheese. Like, these little balls are made from cottage cheese. I think so. And it has a nice sweet milk. Like, it's cooked in a nice sweet milk with some pistachios. Like, there's a sprinkle of pistachios on top for garnish. Some almonds also. Let me have a bit of it with the... Oof, I used to love this as a kid. By the way, I think you can have this hot, but it's better when it's really cold. The milk itself, so sweet. Last but not least, a Gulab Jamun. I'm gonna have the big one here. You gotta break the Gulab Jamun like this. Oof. Wow. Genuinely, anyone watching this, if you haven't tried Pakistani food, you're missing out. I'm not exaggerating. I genuinely liked all the dishes. Like seriously, like I loved the appetizers. The biryani was insane. Even the curries have their own different identity, you know, like in terms of taste, they're all unique. And the desserts also were crazy. Like it's so good. I genuinely think, I don't know, maybe when I was young, did I try GAJAR ka halwa? I don't know. But it's so good. Like this all works well together. Like this is home cooked. Like all the flavors, I tasted Pakistan and I tasted home cooked food. So yes, there is oil, but I'm pretty sure it was done like in a way that it was needed for the dish to be authentic to Pakistan and how they cook the food. And I didn't mind the oil. Obviously you can have these, like for example the PAYA, it's meant to be an oily dish. The Karahi gosht is meant to be oily. So before I give my final verdict of everything, the name of this chicken dish is actually chicken charga. I kept pronouncing it chicken changa. I felt I was pronouncing it wrong, but yeah, it's chicken charga. So now let me give my overall experience of trying out food at Vallys. It was amazing. Genuinely, like I enjoyed Vallys. It was a good experience of trying out Pakistani food. I told you, I've tried their Haleem before, but when you try out these other dishes, like I tried out these other dishes and it's insanely good, like insane. Like I can't describe like to you how much I enjoyed this review, genuinely. The samosas were perfectly fried with perfectly spiced minced keema inside, minced chicken keema inside, and chicken charga. Oof, the marinade, crazy good, like melt off your bone, tender chicken. And that marinade itself, it's so unique, like it's perfectly spiced. The beef shami kebab, the beef, like legit, when you eat it, it will melt in your mouth. It's that good. And that is just exactly the way it is. Like, and it has a bit of sourness to it, but oof, like it's like smooth beef pate, and it just nicely melts in your mouth. Like the moment you bite it, it's gone. And then the Latcha paratha and the chapatis are good alternate carb options. They go perfectly with all the curries and gravies. The butter chicken, it wasn't as thick, but it was flavorful and sweet. The Karahi gosht was nicely tart and spicy, and tender mutton or beef, I think beef. And then the mutton trotters nicely melts in your mouth, very thick, you know, from all that tendon, nicely melts into the curry. The Haleem, oof, the Haleem, that was also like delicious. Pairing it with the fried onions, the lime, the ginger and the chili, oof. And the biryani, guys, oh my god, the biryani. Like I'm telling you, this is good homemade chicken biryani. Like it's insanely good. The rice, the spices, the potatoes, it perfectly unified, and that is the best Pakistani Sri Lankan, but yes, best Pakistani biryani I think I have found in Sri Lanka. Honestly, really good. And the desserts, oh my god, like the Gajar ka halwa surprised me. The Ras Malai was so smooth. The Gulab jamun also perfect. Genuinely nice people. They delivered on time. They were kind enough to offer me all these different types of varieties of food for free. Genuinely, I enjoyed it. I'm not saying just because they gave it to me that I'm telling really good things about it. I genuinely like the food. I genuinely like the food. They're a really good business. Please do order from them if you want home cooked Pakistani food. Even if you are new to Pakistani food, just try it out. It's really good. I just wanted to also mention that they perfectly packaged and sent the food and delivered it to my doorstep, and were kind enough to even name tag the items so I wouldn't get confused. Do contact them on the number mentioned or DM them on Instagram. If you also want your restaurant, cafe or brand to be given a shout out on our social media platforms, feel free to contact us by DMing us on our Instagram page or send us an email at foodportrayal@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe and click on the bell notification icon. This is Food Portrayal.